All right, I'm going to talk about chapter 5, verse 18. This will be part 9. And you notice I've been struggling here with this computer here today. Sorry about that. But now I'm going to, the last video, I really had to take some time to go through some of these verses. And this verse is now what I'm going to chop up down here. And the last video, just to inform you what went on last time, I had to really explain my editing of this text. The reason why I'm doing this is because this is his first healing that's being done. And when he's talking to these people that are going to be questioning him about, because he was being harassed by these guys for doing his work, which I had to explain this here editing as my healing is our Father's work, because it's such an important um, story as his first healing. And look at all the editing that I've had to do here, and it took a lot to explain just this word here. Now watch what's going to happen here when I explain what I changed in this verse, which is here, and this verse, which is here. This is really kind of going to be a rough video, because if anyone is ever going to complain about me changing the text around to make it my own, this would be the area. So I want to make sure I explain it in the video. And if I have to take the whole 40 minutes here to get through these two verses, I'm going to, because I am changing so much, but that's so important, and you have to understand what is going on here. Example, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start illustrating here. When they have the word this is right here, and therefore is over here, the Jews here, seeking is over here, the word all is right here, and the more is here, and to kill is, okay. Now let me show you why I'm having to add these. Now Jesus's words, that's this thing that caused them, okay? Jesus's words caused, okay? So this is being changed to Jesus's words, what he just said above. And that's the problem of what's going on in this situation. For the simple fact that you got to understand, this is his first healing that he's doing, and he's telling them that, like other prophets that they know, it was the will of our Father wanted that person to be healed. So he healed that person, okay? Now it comes to the fact that they're arguing, and they're Jews. They completely disagree, but they know the stories, they know the history, but they refuse to believe our Creator is who he is. And here, Jesus is being aware to them. You got to understand the situation here, because this needs to be explained carefully to make sure I'm saying these things right. So it's Jesus's words that caused the Jews, these that are unbelievers from Jerusalem, there, and to not to seek, or not seeking, but to seek. Don't need the word all. More. I changed to how, and I changed kill to punish, because it's the first one. It's the first one. He's just acknowledging he's there. Now, what he has done in front of them or told them is that you're punishing me, or asking, or you're harassing me up in here, for him saying my healing is our Father's work, and now I am harassed for his work, as he is speaking as a prophet to them. Okay. and he is saying these words. So they don't want to kill him yet. They want to punish him. Okay. For he was, let me see here. The word breaking, what is this? Way over here. He was breaking the holy day. I have Sabbath. I get rid of the Sabbath and get the word holy here. Holy days. That's what our Creator designated them on. They didn't designate them as Sabbath days. Telling our people to work. Now, if you were listening to the last video, which you have to understand what I'm doing here, this was the part where I was saying, well, the text doesn't have this in the story. Now it does have it in the story, so some of these verses might have to be switched around to have the right order put together. But not breaking, but Jesus was telling people to work on a holy day. So it was like, why is he doing this? Well, he was claiming that it was, he asked our Father and he done this because here is my healing is our Father's work. And now you're arresting me for his work. And now they're complaining about, well, you were also telling them to pick up and work on a holy day. And this is what they're complaining. This is what they were summing up. The writer is trying to sum up what's happening here for you. And we don't need these words. He was calling a YHVH his own father because everybody understood the Israelis knew our Creator as our Father. He created everything. He created us, and he is the provider of souls. So he is actually our Father. So the thing here, for us to exist on this earth, our souls have to come from him. So I don't need any of this. And making him equal to YHVH. Now I'm using his name, but I'm also using it. See how they have the word title God. So I've changed that to YHVH because at that time they knew his name. Okay. They have covered it up and we don't know now. But the object here is that he was making himself equal because he's saying this right here, work, and now I'm harassed for his work. See how the writer is summing it up. And I'm doing a lot of editing to show how it has to be that way. Now comes these verses here. Now these are going to get some confusion too. So let me start doing this here and just them let me use this one here. Okay. Now I added after this understanding of what was going on. Now Jesus replies, and we don't need any of this. Therefore answered and was saying he told them, okay? I changed the word saying to told. So here I've simplified it by saying Jesus told, and it's our people, because there are others there that most likely were trusting that John saying our king is going to appear in Jerusalem. Well, I don't like these words truly, truly. They aren't really needed. And I say, well, I don't need the word say. Jesus is going to be talking, your son for man. Now I've added your son for man down in here. And because if it is said, I say to you, the son can do nothing of himself, okay? Jesus speaking in third person here. So who is the son? They were referring to Jesus as the son for man when they're talking to others, that when he has his kingdom in heaven, then as it is written way back starting with Abraham, talking about Jesus. Here, just to make sure that you understand what's going on when I say son for man. And that is, king shall come from you, and I will establish my covenant between you and your children. And then down here, 18, this is in 17:6. This is in 18:18. And in him, which is talking about Abraham, all the nations of the earth will be blessed. This is pretty much what I'm trying to say is the son from man is what this is referencing. And then it says in Genesis 22:18, in your seed, which is a descendant from Abraham, descendant from David, is all the nations on the earth shall be blessed. Okay? Because you have obeyed my voice. Now, this son of man is understandable by him because if you just say the son, it doesn't flow right to be said how it's to be said. It can ask for, now here it says do nothing. Do nothing. Let's see. Whoops. I don't need that. This do nothing. Okay. I have replaced it with the word miracle. Now, this is, we would know it as the word healing, okay? But at this time in the text, the writer would recognize it as they would understand this as a miracle, because when they were talking about other healings by other prophets, they would call them miracles, okay? And not healings. They were miracles, they were wonders, okay? So the thing here is that I'm using the word miracle instead of the word wonder. But these miracles are the Son of Man can ask for a miracle, okay? Ask for a miracle only if. Now they have the word unless, because I can't have Jesus being talking in third person like they do. So I got rid of that, and now I'm on the word unless. Has to be only if. It's saying the same thing, but I just want to make sure that it's more properly said for our time in English here. It is meaning only if it is something. Now here, he is talking in third person again, so I'm taking out the word he and putting in the word I. And when I see the word see, or says see, I have the word saw here, okay? Now, I'm being first person has to be our Father do, not doing, do. Now, you have to understand, Jesus has said to us in the other Gospels, we have to know what's going on here when Jesus is saying these things, that Jesus said he was around before the foundation of the earth. So he witnessed our Creator putting man together, okay, making man male and female. So he was witness how he did that. So saw our Father do, and this is what Jesus is referring to here as do, all creation. So whatever here, I'm keeping that word, and you'll see right here, I'm going to keep that word, but I'm changing the word Father, and I'm going to use it as he, okay? And then when it comes to does, I'm changing it to done. So there's no real big change there except for it's more first person talk. But I got to get rid of these words here, these things. And then your son, now that he's already said son for man, I will leave it singular as to say that he is who he is for man. only has to ask him to be done. Okay. Um, uh, but what did they have here? Father does these things. The Son can also does in like manner. Um, there is a story where Jesus um, heals a blind boy, but he uses clay and he spits it and he rubs it together and then he rubs it in his eyes. You don't understand the story, what's going on there, because he was actually born without eyes. The clay is our Jesus putting the clay in his eyes. And this is going to be probably the next story that comes up. I don't know if it's in John, but I know that when the stories go together, that you're going to find that that'll be the next thing. So he is still showing the people these slowly why he can do these things. Okay, so I'm just um there's so much here that I'm editing that it is making it my own, but it's so important to understand that I need to save these instead of say, get rid of them. If there was other text like this, better said, I wouldn't be using these, but I have to use these because it is that important of a story. Um, because it is Jesus telling them that he is like a prophet. Okay. And the buzz is going to happen in Jerusalem. Like, hey, I don't know, something just happened here. We know that this guy was um, carrying a stretcher, and then we found out he was healed by the guy. And he's claiming that he's equal to our creator. I mean, this would be their words. We know about Jesus, but the object is you got to understand that they don't want this to happen. Now they know this is happening. Okay. So I have to have him saying, ask him to be done. And that's what Jesus always does is he, um, example, when he went to feed the people, he turned to look to heaven and ask for a blessing that he is able to do feed this many people. So this is such a very important statement to say that he has to ask for these uh, only has to ask him to be done. Okay. And it has to be put in here to be really uh, truthful of the text. Now, I hope that you really understand that I went over this text really slow here to make sure that this story is, or why these words were edited. I mean, um, they look really good when they're cleaned up. Okay. I mean, it reads simple because we know the answer is true, but to come up with these from those words, oh, but it's too important that I can't just get rid of those words. Other verses you see me that I've kind of stopped. I said, well, I could, but I'd be making a mine. Well, this is one of them that has to be done. So now if I was to say that if I go back and do all those other ones, uh, that's why I don't do them. I don't want too much of the influence of mine. I can just say, get rid of them. There's text other places that do better. And for that reason, now that I've spent probably, 18 minutes getting through that, I hope that's understood of what was going on here. For your father loves your son, and he's still talking as Son of Man, and has shown me all things himself doing greater works than these. All things that he himself is doing, greater works than these will he show him. Now, this is Jesus talking in third person, and this is really when they're deceiving you in the text. Um, because it's these words are relating to all the words that I got rid of that they're trying to put in that uh, our creator you've seen how well I went into detail that Jesus was before the earth was born or was made. So he was around watching him. Well, here, how does that equal any of this without me really tearing this apart and really re-saying what I already said? So now you can see why I can just say, hey, I got better words than this already, so we don't need these. Okay. And he has shown me, and he's most likely shown other angels because Satan is pretty deceptive on how to use the body to be able to see, uh, have people have a sex like act when they're meditating. They see this figure, they think it's a woman, but surprise, it's actually Satan. But it causes um, the climax without the seed loss or loss of seed. So um, happens for the female, happens for the male. So that's what happens under that condition. And here, um, I just want to let you know Satan is able, other people were around at that time, or beings were around and watched the Creator. Satan got carried away and started playing, wanted to deceive man by saying, well, I can do this. What do you think now, Creator? Like he was challenging our Creator, that he learned, and he learned a little bit more than what our Creator had shown him. So it's kind of like this side where Jesus says that, or this, we don't know what happened before the flood, but we know that Satan had turned so many away from our Creator. He said, "I'm going to start over again," and he can do that. The flood happened, and then through Noah, he started doing his prophecies, telling them, and then this is like 2,000 years later. Jesus finally is here. Okay, and I'm sorry I get off on a sidetrack sometimes, but sometimes these things have to be said so you understand the situation. Um, that you may marvel. No, don't need that. He sent me. When he was saying "Son of Man," they would have known what was going on, and he's trying to tell them, "Yes, I was sent. I'm the one that was being sent." He's now reaffirming other texts, but he still presented himself as a prophet, and not as their king. Okay, so when he starts talking about he sent me, then you start to understand he's starting to change the language here. Just as our Father has raised those that have died and gives them life again, even I, your Son, I will also ask for their life again. Now, this, because it's part of what's being said here, is important because they still got him as third person, whom he wishes. Um, I had to make it as he's asking for a first person would say it this way. That also gives. He would ask for their life again, not give their life again. Jesus is not the one who can control your soul being sent into the abyss and come back. He has to ask our Creator, have it returned. I'm asking you for this favor. Please do it for me, to show them and let them know who I am. Then it comes down to some small changes that you can see these reads better without those words. Now, hopefully the text, I'm not really changing or trying to make these mine. I'm just cleaning these up from all to everyone. Honors your son, meaning your son from man still, because he's still talking. And even as they honor our Father, because he is known to them as the one who is going to sit at the right hand of our Father or our Creator. This is an earthly view being given to them about what's going to go on in heaven. But remember, our Creator doesn't sit on a throne. He just exists. Okay. So the thing here is he doesn't need anything. Everything is his. So he created it. So if he wants a throne, he could. But the object is that there's no. I truly understand that what I've been given. This is a visual for people on earth to understand that our Creator is the King, and He is second in command, being the Prince, and He will have a kingdom in heaven. He's not overtaken heaven, so you have to understand that. So the thing there is our Creator's going to have His angels, and Jesus is going to have His. Okay, so the thing here is now He's telling them that to be honored exactly like the others. Those of us that believe Jesus honor him as much as we honor our Father. We obey our Creator. You better be obeying our Creator. And you have to obey Jesus. There's things here that Jesus is telling us that our Father did not let us know. So this is why Jesus is teaching us his uh, about his kingdom. Okay, so those are easy cleanups. Got rid of third person again. Don't need those words. Has eternal life with me, not with eternal life in hell. And whoever does not comes under my judgment, because Jesus is telling them here that he is going to be their judge to get into his kingdom. This is where he's starting to introduce that he is now king, not just a prophet. Okay? So we went from prophet now to king. The story was so important. And to make sure you understand that. I can't wait till when the text all cleaned up and I can go through it real quick and explain exactly what's going on. Will pass out of death into eternal life without winding. What do I have here? Who does not come under my judgment and will enter a life without. Yeah, he's talking about, he's talking about being separated from our Creator. Okay. So it has to be without YV. And I'll enter a life, and I've had to add the words without YV because we're talking about hell. Okay. Now, if you've seen some of the text, and let's read some of the things, yes, they're under the Buddhist influence. I know it isn't Buddha, but Buddhism, it started before Buddha, but the object is they believe in reincarnation, and a lot of text is in this here showing that they have the influence that, like they went to John and asked him if he's Elijah. Well, how can he be Elijah? That's reincarnation. Um, when Jesus asked them, who do they say they are? Who do they say I am? And these people are saying, well, he might be one of the old prophets reborn. See, that's Buddhism. So the influence that was going on around them is just like what's happening here today. There's what are called religions. This is not a religion. Okay, this is your way of life. So don't be calling a religion anymore. Um, that's the secular world trying to twist you to keep you away from our Creator. The hour is coming when the dead will hear my voice, and your son from YV, and those who hear me will live with me. This, I can show you that there's text that when his body died, and he ascended into heaven, that the earth shook and they seen ghosts or spirits, which are really souls, ascend to heaven. Okay, so that is what this is going to be. But he's telling them this in Jerusalem, so that's very cool that we now have Jesus even teach them what's going to happen, but didn't tell them that he's going to die when that happens. Just as Father has life in himself, no, that's just that's just not understanding our Creator. Our Creator is the fact that our Creator is a being who is. He created us. Now we are is. We have our beginning is our Creator, but we will be forever. Okay. Now, he has also given the Son, also has also to have life in himself. No, that's Jesus is not the maker of your souls. Okay, so that's not true. Uh, gave him authority to execute judgment because he is Son. Man. Yes, that's true, but that sentence would be stuck out there in the middle, and we also just got done saying that in the verses above when it was edited. Do not marvel at this. This is the hour, or an hour is coming, which all who are in the tombs will hear his voice. Jesus speaks in third person here, and that's here. Here, if you're reading along with me. I just got done explaining why Jesus said it this way, right here. So it's kind of like they had to clean up the text. Shall come forth those that do good deeds? No, that's not true. You have to be forgiven. It's all about sin, not obeying. Sin is not obeying the 12 commandments. Those are sin. Next is evilness. Evilness is of being completely against our Creator. And then there's just wickedness that people are going to do, but they still could be forgiven to enter into heaven. So that's the order of um, the way the text tells us that evilness will not end up in those that practice evilness will not end up in heaven. Resurrection of for judgment. No, this is no. I can do nothing alone. No, this is we've already got Jesus saying this about, so none of that's needed. And then these are the text here, and this is what I've got here cleaned up here. Bears was not of me, but about me. And I know that testimony which he bears of me is true. This is, nobody is going to go to our Creator. You can't do that, to ask our Creator about bearing witness of him. Our Creator did bring me to him, and he made me witness that Jesus exists. So I know that nobody's going to get there. You got no idea what's going on out there. Um, uh, but anyways, let's see. Okay. YV has sent John, and his witnessing is his truth. Now, this is what I go to when I say that Jesus, when John was sent by our Creator as the heralder for Jesus, he had to meet Jesus in heaven and discuss what's going to happen when they go live on the earth. And that's this part of what's being said here, that John witnessing his truth, his son John, and his witnessing is his truth. John's referring to this witnessing of Jesus is John's truth that he's coming. Then when he sees him coming, he says, there he is. So how do he recognize him? Well, he knew him in heaven. And there's other texts that I could show you how to I just can't wait until all this editing is not done so I can really go through this and tell you the order of things. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm going to stop this one here. I don't have time to get into this one. It's going to take me a little bit longer than that. But as you can see, I really wanted to go through those verses. There's a lot to be said in those and had to be said correctly and had to be corrected a lot. Like I said, I don't like doing that to verses because there's other text that we can go by, but this there's no other story. So, and that'll be the end of this video.